I mean, literally the first 30 minutes, I just said to myself, Jesus Christ, what the hell did I get myself into? My God! It feels like poop coming out of Tom Holland's anus. Hello and welcome to Fuck Your Opinion. This is a movie review show with yours truly, Sean. Today I watched the movie Cherry, and let me tell you, folks, I'm gonna ring very true to the title of this show, Fuck Your Opinion. So strap in. This is gonna be a ride. Spoilers abound. Just be ready. I'm gonna shit on this movie. I'm gonna take a dump. There's a scene in the middle of this movie where we see inside Tom Holland's anus. This review is gonna be like an anus shot where but you see the poop coming out onto this movie. That's what this review is. Let's get into this. But actually, sorry, before we do, real quick, if you wouldn't mind, be sure to hit the like button down below. Also, make sure to subscribe. That way, I can make more Fuck Your Opinion movie reviews like this so I can shit on Tom Holland and say, Tom Holland, you're a nice enough guy, but I kind of just don't want to see your anus as I am eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I just don't want to do that. I'm not saying it's his buttocks. We don't see his buttocks like something sexy. We literally see the inside of his anus. Let's get into this, shall we? Actually, real quick note I want to make. I spent like 20 minutes trying to get my hair right, and the back of my hair is all fucked up and popping out. And it's annoying because A, my hair looked perfect until I put this shirt on. And then the shirt said, I'm going to fuck up your hair a little bit. And I'm just pissed. This always happens to me right before I record. My hair just gets fucked up. What makes it that much more annoying is at the very end of this movie, when Tom Holland is coming out of the jail, he is in jail for what? Like a decade? This guy comes out looking better than he came in. Now, granted, he went in being a junkie, but I have never seen. Granted, I don't see people. I don't wait outside a prison and wait for people to come out and judge them and say, "Does that guy look good? Does he look better or does he look worse?" Like I don't do that. But the point is, Tom Holland looked so incredibly handsome and so great and wonderful. His hair was slicked back. He grew a mustache, just the mustache. I guess he was able to shave so well every day. I don't know, but he looked fantastic. And I'm just saying to myself, man, I'm a regular guy trying to get ready to record a review. And yet I cannot get my hair to look as pristine and as immaculate as this man coming out of prison with no hair products or hair resources. I don't know. I guess I'm just fucked. Anyways, let's actually get to this review, shall we? So we start with Tom Holland as this teenager who is not sure what he wants to do with his life. He's going from job to job, kind of and disillusioned, and he randomly falls in love with this girl in his class. No particular reason, he just finds her kind of cute. Listen, we've all been there, but the movie needs to justify it more, right? Why, beyond her being attractive, is Tom Holland interested? Why is she interested? Why do either of these characters care about each other at all? I have no idea because the movie says, you know, they're just going to be pretty and they're just going to fall in love and we're going to go along with it. So they crammed this love story into the first 30 minutes. But when I say love story, what I really mean is it's one part Catcher in the Rye with the angsty young man annoyed at the world, thinking all his thoughts, spewing it out into the world because Tom Holland's character has both a narration over the movie as well as breaking the fourth wall and talking to the camera. I think the movie should pick a lane, but regardless, it says we're gonna fucking do both, okay, guys? Because we're edgy, we're stylish. So it does that edgy, stylish talk in the camera. again, kind of like Holden Caulfield in Catcher in the Rye, even though that's a book, but tonally it's like that. But then the directors say, you know what we should do? Catcher in the Rye is a little outdated. So how about we put like a TikTok filter over it. So it's Catcher in the Rye TikTok version. So you got like montage, 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 montage. It's all montages. So we don't really get to know the characters. I mean, literally the first 30 minutes. I just said to myself, Jesus Christ, what the hell did I get myself into? My God! It's one of those experiences where you see all the negative reviews and you say to yourself, this can't possibly be that bad, right? It looks kind of okay. It has Tom Holland. It's the Avengers Endgame directors. It can't be that bad. And then almost immediately, it is that bad. And you say, Dear God. And then you also say, this movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes. How? Anyways, so Tom Holland says to his girlfriend, I love you. And as every bachelor contestant dreads, when you say the I love you, she says back to him, thank you for saying that. And then after she says that, she's like, this is getting too serious. I'm just gonna go to Montreal. So then Tom Holland gets real sad and says, you know, what should I do now that my girlfriend is leaving? I don't know. I'm going to join the army. As one does. We've all been there, right? You know, you get your heart broken and you immediately say, "Army." That's what I'm going to do. He joins the army. She says, "Oh wait, actually I changed my mind. Can you stay?" And he's like, "I kind of already signed up. I mean, we should have had this conversation like an hour ago. Things would have turned out a lot better if, we talked it out." And she's like, I only said that I was going to go to Montreal because I was falling in love with you. And I'm just like, wait, what? Mm-mm. Just tell him. Just tell him how you feel. She's not even that great. I don't even know. It's not, I don't have anything against the actress. She's fine. But she's so young looking. It's really odd, especially later on in the movie when she's playing like a fucking TA and a 35-year-old at the very last shot. And you go, you're not older than 15 years old. You are 15. I do not believe you are a day older than 15. And also with Tom Holland's mustache. At the very end, he's 35. He doesn't look 35. He looks 23, his age. I don't care how much makeup. I don't care if you put a fucking mustache on him. He is not that old. It's ridiculous. Everyone is miscast. That's the thing about this movie. Every single person is miscast. Tom Holland is miscast. The lead actress is miscast. The only person that is cast well is this frat bro drug dealer in the second half of the movie who is very skeevy and very frat bro-y, and that's what you need from that role. So that was the only role that was cast correctly. But Tom Holland, listen, it's not for a lack of trying. He definitely puts in the effort. It's just that I never believed for a second that he was that person cuz he plays that character the main character in various stages of his life, from going into the army and training to being in the army to being a drug addict to robbing banks, and I never believed Tom Holland in it. Tom Holland was trying his heart out. He was working. He got so close a lot of the times. It's just that's not who Tom Holland is, and he can't disappear in a role. Let Tom Holland be Tom Holland. Like, you don't take Jackie Chan and try and make him into an evil bad guy. That's just not who Jackie Chan is. Let him be Jackie Chan. Let Tom Holland be Tom Holland. Back to the story. Tom Holland joins the army. Then we have 20 minutes of him training for the army. None of this stuff was needed. It was very repetitive. It bogged the movie down. It wasn't very interesting. It was trying to send some kind of political messages about the army and anti-army and everything. And listen, I'm not a proponent of the army or anything, but it's one of those movies where Hollywood is like, I'm going to stand out for what's right. I'm going to have a message, especially because these directors are coming off of such big budgeted Hollywood movies that they're like, I am going to be an important director, guys. But they forgot that they also have directed You, Me, and Dupree, and they don't have the depth to actually pull this off. So going along with what I was saying earlier about the catcher in the rye on the TikTok filter kind of thing, very TikToky here. It's like take Jarhead and then again throw TikTok on it. It's just egregious. It's really bad and really fucking irritating and annoying. And all the messages are undercut by constant style that doesn't add to the experience or the story or the messages. It's just overwhelming and grating and annoying, and none of it is cohesive. Listen, I'm glad that the Russo brothers got to experiment and say, "Oh, these are all the things we couldn't do with Marvel. Let me just fucking throw it out there." But it's something where I was listening to an interview of theirs, and they were telling the interviewer, "Oh, we wanted to do something for the current young generation and kind of get them into the mindset of this movie because they're so infused with TikTok culture that we want to do TikToky elements in order to essentially bring them in." And that's also probably why they cast Tom Holland as opposed to someone who's more appropriate. He's just so popular. And then the interviewer right after is like, "Well, did you talk to your kids about this?" And they're like, "Oh, no, but we assume that our kids are going to be down for it." And I'm like, guys, you think you would at least do the basic due diligence of asking your kids or any kids if they would be interested in what you are selling, as opposed to just assuming it, because that's what this movie is. It's assuming that people are interested in this story. It's assuming that it has strong messages. It's assuming that's adapting the subject material in a strong and proficient and interesting way. But what it really is, and I haven't read the book, but what it feels like it's doing is ripping off a whole lot of other movies and a whole lot of their styles because the Russos, again, have been stuck in Marvel for the past 7 years and are just getting everything out of their system. But because of that, this doesn't feel like a passion project. It feels like poop coming out of Tom Holland's anus. Like again in the middle of the movie. Horrifying to see when you're eating a sandwich. Not what you want during your lunch break. Anyways, Tom Holland goes to war. I would say the war stuff is pretty well done. Not the best war bit of any movie. It's not Apocalypse Now, even though it's kind of trying to be, but it's still pretty solid and a lot better than I was expecting, especially when, this is an hour into the movie, especially when the first hour is like god awful. The first hour of the movie is so god awful that the Iraq war is a breath of fresh air. Anyways, Tom Holland is a medic. War scenes, war montage. Again, could have got cut down, but whatever. We gotta show everything. We gotta show his friend getting killed and everything. Then Tom Holland comes home. His girlfriend. Oh, sorry. No, they got married. I forgot that bit. Before he goes off to war, he gets married. So he goes back home, see his wife. They have a house together. It's really weird seeing them, husband and wife, owning a house when you're like, you guys are teenagers, though. But you're teenagers. You're so young. How? Anyways, Tom Holland gets addicted to drugs. She gets angry, yells at him, tries to give what should be, "I'm going for the Oscar by yelling" performance. And then she gets addicted to drugs. They both have, they're both addicts. Addict scenes ensue. And I will say the movie progressively does get better. So in the addict scenes, because this is what the Russo brothers actually wanted to talk about in their movie. So everything is like superfluous prologue that is just way over long. it could have been half an hour and we would have been fine. Because we know you really only want to talk about the opioid crisis, right? And addiction. So we get to that bit. Think of it, tamed down Breaking Bad, tamed down Jesse Pinkman. It's not terrible. It's far better than earlier in the movie, but it's also not tremendously great. It's just, this is acceptable. This is okay. This is a much better movie than earlier because at this point they've basically lost all the TikTok super cutty weird elements of it and are more down to earth. And that's where the movie, I don't want to say shines because this movie doesn't shine, but it is at least acceptable. And I will say the robbery scenes themselves are pretty decent. They're not horrible, they're not great, they're not going to go on any noteworthy lists, but they're not boring. They're often surprising in some kind of way. I enjoyed them enough. But anyways, Tom Holland robs some banks. This is where we get the Requiem for a Dream, Goodfellas, Breaking Bad kind of mashup with the addiction versus the violence and everything in between. It's all right. You've seen this before. You've seen it done better. It's decent here. That that's the highest praise I'm going to give this movie. Anyways, that's all I have to say. This movie is blah. Blah. This movie is Tom Holland's anal cavity. That's what I would rate it. Not even a number. Tom Holland's anal cavity. Thank you for watching. Like I said, be sure to hit subscribe. Be sure to hit like. And if you're one of those assholes that says, if you're one of those Tom Holland assholes that says, I don't want to do either one of those, Sean. I've gotten to this point in the video and I'm just going to click off. You know what? Fuck you, man. Or gal. Whichever. Just no. I hate you. You're a piece of shit. I take back a thank you for watching and I say, go fuck yourself. That's a dick move.